Hi everybody, welcome to School of Scarlett. Today I have another message for you. So today's message is an exciting one. It's all around bending time. So if you have ever felt like you don't have enough time in your day, your 24 hours aren't lasting like they should, or you're never able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish with the time that you have, this message is for you. So I share intuitive messages that come through daily, so it's no different today. Something happened this morning that I'm going to be sharing with you that triggered this message, and this is a very deeply profound activation. So stay tuned to the very end so that you can be activated in this way. So if you are new here, please subscribe to my channel. Just go ahead and hit that notification bell as well so that you'll be notified when I put out these daily intuitive messages. All right, so let's jump right into it. So this morning I was in my car driving back home, trying to get home to kind of send off a friend of ours that is visiting. We have a friend visiting from out of town, and so we were going to have breakfast this morning, and I was on my way back from dropping my daughter off from school. So I dropped my daughter off from school around 7:30 in the morning, and I have about 30 minutes to get back around 8, and that's when we were going to have breakfast. So I actually had some other plans, but I went ahead and canceled them. So I was already kind of like flustered that I had to cancel my other plans to make it back by 8, but I wanted to be there for that breakfast. So I dropped my daughter off from school, and then I was on my way to come back home. Well, as I was on my way to come back home, like I say, I was already kind of flustered that I had to cancel some other plans, that, the time was pretty tight. And so all of a sudden I'm driving back, and the first thing that happens is there's an accident. So at first I didn't know if it was construction or what was going on. It was kind of a rainy morning today. And so I was stuck in a little bit of traffic there trying to get back through this accident. Now I get past that accident, it takes about like an extra 10 minutes. And as I get past that accident, I'm already a little bit even more flustered, a little bit more upset about the fact that now I've lost 10 minutes. And so I'm driving, and on the way back from there, all of a sudden I hit a red light. And then the next one is a red light. And then the next one is a red light. So I was hitting all red lights. Then coming closer to my house, not even a mile from my house, there was a second accident. And the second accident was taking a little bit longer. So I text my husband and I let him know I'm stuck in an accident. I don't know when I'll be back home. So what ended up happening was, as I was waiting for this accident to clear, today's intuitive message came through about the bending of time. So there are, time is pretty relative. Time, you can see it, the Einstein's relativity of time. Okay, so time is relative, and this is something that you'll have to experience for yourself, which is the activation that I'm going to talk about here today. But for me, this is something that I had already experienced. I had experienced it through a twin flame journey where I was with someone, and let's say in a time period of 5 hours, what happened in those 5 hours was like what would happen in like a week. The amount of things that we were able to do, the places we were able to travel, it made no sense. So everything that we wanted to do, we were able to do in short amounts of time that were somehow expanded, and we were in joy. It was fun. Everything was in bliss. So time seemed to expand. So you can see when you're in joy and you're in the right state of being, time seems to expand. Now think about it yourself, like when you're waiting for, you to get off work. Maybe you get off work at 5 and it's like 4:30 and you're looking at that clock, and it seems like time is slowing down. Like only 2 minutes have passed, only 5 minutes have passed, and it's like it's taking forever. Same thing as what happened today. I'm trying to get home. I'm rushing. I'm already in the state of mind that I'm, having to be there at a certain time, and I'm having to rush to get there. What ends up happening? Things begin to slow down, not necessarily like in the actual time, but in the occurrences. Like I hit a red light, I hit a red light, I hit another red light, I hit an accident, there was another accident. Things that don't normally happen begin to happen to slow us down. So today's message is really about our state of being. So when we're in a dysregulated state of being, when we're out of our flow, when we are stressed, when we are worried, when we are in our mind, time is very much like Newtonian. It becomes very fixed. It becomes very hard. And things that you think, you have to do that day become hard for you. Your mentality about it is, I have to go to the doctor. It's going to take all of this time. or, I'm not going to be able to get this done. There's like a stress behind it. Now, when you're in flow, when you are thinking and feeling freely and you're in joy, like I was talking about with my twin flame, time expands. It seems like you don't have to worry about anything. You just do the tasks as they happen, and time expands. And what you could have done in like an hour it sometimes equates to what you could do in a whole year. It's that drastic of a change. So time is very relative. So one of the things that is, a pointer coming through today is to really recognize, what state of being are you in? Are you in a dysregulated state of being, or are you in a regulated state of being? Now, our society really puts us in a dysregulated state of being a lot of the time through a lot of different distractions. So I'm going to be talking about the two different ways that you could regulate yourself or just live a very dysregulated life. When we're not in flow, we begin to do things to help us with our stress and anxiety. We begin to do things that are actually going to take us out of being in flow, out of expanding our time. So what are those things? So when we are dysregulated, when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling depressed, all of these things, we begin to do things like scrolling on our phones, watching endless amounts of Netflix or television. These things happen as a subconscious way to cope with the stress and anxiety that you're feeling. And even though you might be wanting to, let's say, work on a project you're going to be working on, or you have certain chores in your house you want to do, the stress, the dysregulated state of being is going to pull you more to doing the scrolling, watching the TV shows, maybe even alcohol or some sort of substance, talking on the phone about drama in endless circles, doing things that really steal your time from you. Now, when you're in a regulated state of being, it's a wholesome, healthy state of being. And that state of being is oftentimes more in flow. You do things that are more where you can let your mind be at peace. And so you'll find yourself doing things like meditating, journaling, exercising, so healthy things, eating healthy foods. And so really taking care of yourself. And as you do this, your state of being expands. The frequency expands in a way that time just explodes. So suddenly you are writing that book. Suddenly you are working on that project. Then suddenly you've already finished all of those chores. And it may seem like you're jumping all over the place, but truly you're getting everything done as it happens in flow. So if you're finding yourself that you're always at a, I don't have enough time, that's one of the things that you usually say, examine what's going on in your life. Are you in a dysregulated state of being? We can be totally oblivious to that we are in this state of being, this dysregulated state of being. But once you become conscious of it, you can take steps to be regulated. Like I say, take time to meditate. Even though you think it might take more time, believe it or not, when we slow down, we actually speed up in a different way. When we relax, our mind actually expands in a way that we're intuitively connected to a divine aspect of ourselves that knows absolutely everything and can guide us in a way that makes sense. That's not dysregulated and disorganized and stealing time from us, but rather a way that's productive, that's creative, that expands us, that motivates us, that energizes us and edifies us. So there are two totally different states of being. The other state of being, the dysregulated state of being, you might actually get to writing your book or whatever it is that you're doing. But as you begin to do it, you're going to notice that you're going to hit a lot more blocks. You're going to overthink things. You're overthinking like, oh, did I write this correctly? Should I go back and erase it? Should I go back and do this? So there's a lot of confusion there. Whereas when you're in flow, you're actually more out of the mind. You're more intuitively connected to the divine source within you. So there is no questioning. There is no doubts. You just flow and you just put it out there. And the divine nature of everything flows through you. And so it's very natural. It's very easy. It's very productive. So it's two different states of being. And the state of being that's really the perfectionist, the one that, is overcritical and all these things, is going to really hold you back. and it's going to really make you feel tired. It's really going to exhaust your brain, because what you're doing is you're depending on your brain rather than the regulated state of being where you're depending on your heart, on your intuition. So you're not using up mental energy, because mental energy really can drain you. So a lot of people find it hard to get into flow. They really do. When I talk to people, a lot of people find it very, very hard to get into flow because they've been living the way that society has taught us to live, to, social media, shows, having so much to do on our to-do list, going to get our coffee at Starbucks, going shopping aimlessly and endlessly for hours, shopping online or in person, talking on the phone about drama, talking to others about drama, gossiping at the office. All of these things that seem normal and we see played out in so many TV shows and stuff, they're not actually normal. These are unhealthy behaviors that don't allow you to be in flow and be creative and do the things that you want to do. So how do we get into flow? Well, like I said, we can take steps to do that. But if you're finding it very hard to get into flow, I am offering right now an opportunity for you to get into my intuition course. There is still time, and I will link that in the description and in my comment section down below. So if this is calling to you, if you're ready to break out of this, I don't have enough time, I'm running myself ragged, I have this 9 to 5 and I can't find any time to do my creative aspects, I can't feel at peace. If you're feeling this way, it's time for you to be regulated, to come over to the other side. And if you need any help doing so, like I say, right now, you want to go ahead and enroll in this course so that you can just activate this and go. This is something that you don't have to relearn. You learn it once and it's done. You live in that state of being from now on. So I know this because I used to live this way. It used to be that I didn't have enough time to do the things that I wanted to do. And suddenly when I got into flow, when I experienced the truth of Einstein time, the relativity of time, I was able to do so much in one day. What I do in one day, it almost seems supernatural or superhuman, because no one can understand that. And people will say, oh, aren't you tired? Or you're hustling so much, you're doing so much. But when you're in flow, it's effortless. You actually get more energized from it. You don't get tired from it. But when you're dysregulated, you get so exhausted. You get so tired from any little thing. Even a doctor's appointment can dysregulate you and make you feel so tired. So those are the different states of being. So you want to ask yourself, when you feel like you don't have enough time for something, what state of being am I in? And what can I do if I am dysregulated to get back into regulation? Like I say, slowing down can actually help you speed up. So if you find yourself dysregulated and you know what to do, go ahead and stop what you're doing and focus on yourself. Reground yourself in a way that you can now be regulated and back into flow. So I have back here 2 of my journals. I have the Intuition Activator, which this journal would be amazing if you're having any trouble connecting to your intuition. So I will link this in my description. You can check it out in my description. I have some links in there. And then I also have the School of Scarlett journal. This one goes over everything. These are journal prompts that I have created from working with people over the years. Each page has a journal prompt and they have a lot of space to write. And this one as well has 111 journal prompts each one. And they've been personally created by me to help you to regulate, to get back connected to your divine self, to be in flow, to activate your intuitively guided life. So I encourage you to pick those up in addition to taking the course. So if you're feeling called to this right now, if you're struggling with time and you can't seem to regulate in a way that is natural, you're going to want to take that course. So that's what this message is really about. What's also coming through as I'm speaking right now is like a visual of a microwave and of a stove. And I'm seeing food that's being cooked. And someone's putting the food in the microwave and cooking it very quickly. And someone's putting, it looks like steak on the stove, and they're cooking it in a pan. And so what I'm seeing now is like they're eating the food. And one will say that their microwave food doesn't taste as good as it would if it's cooked on the stove. So we oftentimes think that, if we just speed things up, if we do things quicker, if we just stick them in the microwave, that they're going to come out good. But the truth is that we need to take time and regulate ourselves, use the stove, take some intention to activate that intuitive aspect of ourselves. Like I say, to slow down is actually to speed up. So I wanted to share this message with you here today. It really was coming through this morning as I was rushing to get home, and I did finally get home in time to have breakfast with our guest. But it didn't feel that good because, I had already been in, through 2 accidents, not that I'd been in them, but just sitting through the traffic, all those traffic lights and the rain. And so I couldn't really enjoy it. So that's the other thing about it, is when we get into this mode and these things starts happening, it's hard for us to really enjoy this present moment. So we want to stay regulated and live a regulated life. So again, I hope that this message found you well. If it resonated with you, give me a thumbs up, a heart, comment down below, share this message with others. It really helps out if you share this message and you like it, you subscribe, all of those things. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next message. I love you all.